Why do Ukrainian women want to marry an American man? Sex tourism in Ukraine. What has the war done to Ukrainian women? Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Mary, I am Ukrainian, and I worked for 5 years as an English interpreter at meetings between American men and Ukrainian women. I make this blog to talk more in English and not to lose this skill. Today I want to talk to you about why many Ukrainian women tend to marry Americans. It sounds like all Ukrainian women are ready to snap immediately if they are offered to marry an American. But according to surveys of Ukrainian popular dating sites, in 2021 year, only 23% said they are ready to marry a foreigner, while the remaining 77% are looking for a partner in their own country. But after the beginning of the war in the country, the percentage of those who want to marry a foreigner has increased significantly. But what other reasons motivate Ukrainian women to marry foreigners? Let's get to the bottom of it. The first reason, I think you have probably guessed already, is the financial reason. This is the most attractive and important factor for Ukrainian women. In Ukrainian culture, it's accepted that a man should earn more than a woman. And since Americans earn significantly more than Ukrainian men, Ukrainian women begin to seriously consider choosing in favor of the former. In Ukraine, most people earn pennies compared to the United States. Let's say that the average salary in Ukraine for 2024 year is $465 per month. And in the United States, according to the American Federal Bureau, the average salary is $4,521 per month. The difference is considerable, right? And this is despite the fact that for a comfortable life in Ukraine with one child, one car, and vacation abroad one time per year, the cost of the family minimally expand $1,350 per month. Many Ukrainian girls and women understand this and wanting to live a full life are forced to hunt for a small percentage of wealthy Ukrainians or foreigners, especially single Ukrainian women with children who are willing to go to great lengths to ensure a good future for their child. When there was no war, I met Americans who seriously wanted to move to Ukraine and spend their pensions here while staying in the company of beautiful ladies. But such men were at great risk of being used. Speaking of which, would you like to know how Ukrainian women most often use foreigners? International dating sites are the top #1 tool. Of course, it's not objective to generalize and assign all sites to scammery, but personally my experience of observation shows that looking for a wife for an American on a dating site is like looking for a needle in a haystack. It takes a huge amount of time, money, and possibly nerves. And the chance of meeting a site and a woman who are not trying to spin you to the max is minimal. So as entertainment or killing boredom, it can be an interesting experience for an American. But seriously count on success, I would not recommend. So as not to be disappointed in all women or humanity later. The use of an American can happen by different methods. For example, the girl receives a financial reward from the agency for being registered on dating sites. Or a girl goes to expensive restaurants for free at the expense of meeting Americans. Or, for example, a girl receives financial rewards when she takes different kinds of photos or videos for men. Or a girl receives gifts from men. Unfortunately, this happens on most dating sites. sides. And even if you are Ryan Gosling, it won't keep you from the primary benefit of using you before finding out that you are a decent man with high moral principles. Of course, there have often been cases when girls initially used a man, but in the end they fell in love and got married, and everything ended with a happy ending for everyone. But this is rather an exception to the rule. Foreigners often ask whether it's true that sex tourism is developed in Ukraine. Now we will talk about it. But in the meantime, if you are interested in any other topics, write to me in the comments and I will try to answer everything in my next videos. Let's continue. You have no idea how developed sex tourism is in Ukraine. Prostitution, escort services, kept women are a huge popular business in Ukraine. According to preliminary data, the number of women involved in prostitution in Ukraine varies from 100,000 to 500,000 people. Considering that before the war there were 11.5 million women aged 18 to 40 living in Ukraine, this is between 1 and 5% of women involved in body trading. Since prostitution is not legal in Ukraine, the data may be very different from reality. But the demand before the war was high and offers filled the market. There are many sites that provide such services. There is an opinion that first of all go into this sphere girls from the villages and settlements, girls with difficult childhood, and those who just love money and are dependent on various goods like expensive brands, equipment, and so on. The second reason why Ukrainians want to marry a foreigner, it's prestigious. You can brag to your girlfriends about traveling, spending a lot of money, going to restaurants and expensive gifts at the beginning of the relationship. And given the fact that in Ukraine all the benefits for Americans are very cheap, the wow effect from France is assured. To move to live abroad, especially in the United States, for Ukrainians is also considered prestigious. Many Ukrainians have heard about the American dream, a house with a garden somewhere in Philadelphia for retirement. The thought of this resonates strongly with Ukrainians whose average pension for the 2024 year is $141. Actually, I read that the term American dream means an ideal of freedom or opportunity that was formulated by founding fathers, but for some reason Ukrainians hear about the term as material in pictures, square meters, and dollars. Please write in the comments how this term should be used correctly. I really want to know. The third reason why Ukrainian women want to marry a foreigner is the opportunity to get in the center of attention. Since marrying a person with a different culture is unusual, exotic, it arouses interest and curiosity. And since most girls like to be the center of attention, and when they have high interest in them, it's another plus, especially in the time of social networks where you can brag about your life on different platforms, shoot content with a foreigner and become popular because of it. And here we come to the last, a bit sad but also quite important question. What has the war done to Ukrainian women? Now I observe a trend of even higher motivation of Ukrainian women to meet foreigners, to move to Europe or Canada or the USA. Since the beginning of the war, meetings with foreigners in Ukraine have been reduced to a minimum because foreigners are not in a hurry to go on dates in a country where is active war. Many offer to meet outside of Ukraine, and Ukrainian women gladly agree on this on the condition that the men will cover all expenses. Ukrainian women have become even more in need of money and safety. More women will be ready to live with a rich man without love or to be their kept woman. But that doesn't mean there won't be a happy ending.